Hello, in this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to print Zen Rocks using neutral colors. Here's some examples of printed rocks that you will wind up with that I can use later in a mixed media collage piece. Um, so before we start printing, the most important thing is your setup. So I've got my my jelly plate. And then I've got my Jack Richardson print paper. I think it's 6x9 because this is a 5x7 jelly plate. And I've got it hinged. And then I've got another one hinged. And then I'm even going to wind up with, I'm going to wind up with two ghost prints. So what I did was I put my fingers on either side to center this, and I drew a blue line because I'm going to pull my first print, my second ghost print, and there's going to be enough paint left for a third ghost print. You're going to get a lot of prints out of um, this lesson. So then you want to pick your colors. Now, I've got a Van Dyke Brown, a Prussian Blue, which isn't really neutral, but it's going to kind of appear neutral, and then a Titan pale green. Those are going to be my colors, but I'm kind of obsessed with rocks. And so here's a rock I found on the beach that's got unusual patterns and colors. I see some burnt umber, some yellow ochre, and some gray. So you can pick other neutral colors. And then the next thing you want to do is cut out some rock shapes. So what I did was on this file folder, I just drew some rock shapes and then I cut them out. I've got a whole rock pile there. Those are going to be they're not really stencils, but I'm going to be masking off parts of my print. What's great about the file folder, if I cut, I'm going to get two, two rocks, and we want lots of rocks. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the Prussian blue color. Now, what's interesting is you can try these colors in different order, and it'll be subtle, but they'll each look a little bit different. I'm going to start with the dark, which I don't normally do, and I'm going to work then the Van Dyke Brown and then the Titan pale green. So I'm ending with my lightest color, and I'm going to see how that goes. So I put a little bit, probably about a quarter um, teaspoon, and I want to roll this out evenly. Going back and forth. And then off to the side, I've got just in my journal, I'm going to roll off this paint. Um, okay, now I'm going to use, it's just a piece of cardboard. It has notches in it that I was going to use for a string stamp, but I'm going to draw some striations through my paint. What I'm trying to do here is mimic, um, like some rocks have veins, of granite going through them. So trying to mimic some rock patterning there. I can use the tip of the cardboard. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Then what I want to do is take some of my rocks and put them on top. And I think I'm going to stack these, kind of like stack stones or um, cairns. Okay, I'm just going to start like that. Then I'm going to flip paper over. There will be my first print. I'm going to peel these off, and already you're going to see this, the file folders start looking, they look like rocks. So I'm going to save those. Okay, then I pull my second print, my ghost print. And then there's still a little bit of paint on there. So now I'm going to line it up with the blue lines that I drew there and get a third print. Okay, now I'm going to go on to my Dyke Brown. Same thing, about a quarter teaspoon. Okay, now I'm going to use the same piece of cardboard, but I'm going to use the side with the notches and just press down. And because the jelly plate is a little bit spongy, I can really press in and make a nice impression. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put rocks on again in a different pattern. I can use the same rocks or I can bring in different ones. And I can put them in randomly, or I can kind of see where this one is and maybe put a rock that might be kind of in that area. And there's endless variations with this. That looks pretty good. Maybe one more. Okay, repeat the same steps. Here comes the surprise. Remove these again. Okay, here's one with both colors. And I'm using Open Acrylic. I think you really want it for this one in order to get the 3 prints. And my third ghost print. Okay, now I'm going to go on to my Titan pale green. And for this one, I'm going to use, this is a rubber band that I've wrapped around this cardboard, so a rubber band stamp. Okay, that looks pretty good. Same thing again. I've got to put my rocks back on top. Thinking I want a little less white showing. So I'm going to put some smaller rocks in there. Still not sure exactly where the color's going to land. Okay, and here we go. Last color. I really like these ghost prints. The subtlety that you get. That one you can't see the Titan pale green as much, but I still like it. Okay, so that is an example of multiple colors in neutral Zen Rocks. And then, as I said, you're going to wind up not only with 3 different prints, but then I just love what happens to the file folders as they keep picking up more layers of paint. So these can be used. Then you're going to have all these prints. Some you'll like more than others, and some you'll want to probably add some more embellishment to. So I'll give you an example of that. Here is a print I did, and it's got some other colors that land in there that I don't like. So I could glue some of these rocks on here. I could come in and do some drawing with, I think it's like a Conti pencil. I could put some other finer marks in with that, with charcoal pencil. I could go India ink, the, endless variations. Okay, here's one. I liked the subtlety of this one, of the ghost print, and then I added a glued in on another rock there. I could pop out some of those striations. What happened to it? It disappeared. Here, it rolled under there. Okay. Again, I could come in and highlight some of these marks created by my rubber band stamp. Okay, I could do more to that. This one, so originally I was going to do chickens and eggs, so the rocks were actually egg shapes. It was not working out at all. So I went more in the direction of rocks, but I brought my chicken cutout there that got paint on it and put it on top. Again, finer marks. I could do some more painting. Here's another one that I just glued some of the painted stamped rocks on there. So endless possibilities with this one. And that is it for Neutral Zen Rocks.